From Singapore or Colombo, these containers are put in another vessel which comes to India. And from India, from Mumbai or Mundra, these move in the hinterland, say Delhi, for almost 1450 kilometers. So what you have is a circuitous long movement involving sea, involving 2 rail legs, involving detention at 3 ports of Chittagong, Singapore or Colombo, Jain Port, and involving a whole lot of handlings, which makes this cost of transaction going up. I have tried to make an assessment of what these costs are, and there will be eye-opener when I share these costs with you. There is another reason for extension of this particular study from South Asia to further to Southwest Asia. It is primarily because of providing gateway to Afghanistan. Now, as you would be knowing, India has been very keen to provide a gateway to Afghanistan, and it's been in that direction. Iran has agreed to develop a port at Chabahar so that shipping can be performed between Indian ports or Bangladesh ports, Colombo, right to Chabahar, and from Chabahar, a rail connection is to be built. It may be ready in another 4 or 5 years. There is a rail connection planned to Zahidan, which is the main rail route, and further to Central Asia and to Afghanistan. So all these countries get linked, and you have a situation where these countries can become larger trading partners. Today, it is what Dr. Nagesh was hinting at today. Intra-regional trade in SAARC is less than 6%. Bangladesh has only 1.9% of exports to the SAARC region countries, only 1.9%. Remaining goes out of the region. It imports 16.4% from SAARC region, remaining is imported from outside. India exports 6.5%, imports only 0.7%. Maldives 14.3, 19.7. Nepal, Bhutan, and Afghanistan are exceptions because of the nature of their being landlocked. So there the shares, Afghanistan share is 85% for export, Bhutan is 85.7, and Nepal is 65% because of their being landlocked. Otherwise, you have only 2%, Bangladesh catering to only 2% of export market in SAARC. We have been talking about trade deficit, likely issue of India losing out, other countries losing out. No, it is not a question like that. If you have a proper connectivity between India and Bangladesh, not only will Indian exports to Bangladesh go up, Indian imports from Bangladesh also of these commodities have a much larger market to cater to. This is the kind of thing which this thing can provide. I'll just take very short time to describe the country status in each of the countries. First of all, Afghanistan, as you know, Afghanistan is landlocked. I've already discussed this. They do not have a direct rail connectivity. However, connectivity is being thought of via Chabahar. In Chabahar is a port next to Gwadar in Pakistan, in Gulf of Oman, where a port terminal has been made. First phase of this port has been commissioned in January. Some consignments have started moving. India has been given operation and maintenance contract of this port. India has chosen a Iranian party. There is some problem because of the recent sanctions talk against Iran, which is not letting this be commissioned on a full-fledged basis. Once this is commissioned, from Chabahar, all Afghanistan and Central Asian consignments can be diverted via the shorter route. And there is, once the rail TAR is commissioned, there is a choice of Indian consignment going directly by rail to Chabahar and then going to Afghanistan. If you are coming from a longer distance port, maybe you can come via sea to Chabahar and then have a transshipment. In Bangladesh, country status, Bangladesh has excellent rail connectivity with India at 5 locations. On 3 of these locations, first 3, actually a lot of rail movement is taking place. In biggest is the Gede Darshana, where almost 50 rakes per month are moving. Unfortunately, none of these are container rakes. Container rakes are yet to make a headway, but other than container, bulk cargo is moving to Bangladesh through Gede Darshana and Petrapol Benapol. These 2 are the railheads where broad gauge trains are going. Almost 50 plus 10, 12, around 60 trains, 2 trains per day are going through this route. Then there is old Malda Ishurdi route via Shingabad, Rohanpur, where also around 20 trains per month are being handled. It is constructing 2 more points. These are meter gauge points. One of them is getting converted into broad gauge. Trains will start moving in that also. Planning is also on for rail connectivity at Badarpur and Bhairab via new proposed link between Agartala and Akhora. Bangladesh is it is on the main tar road. It has 8 dry ports, including dry port of Dhaka, all of which can be connected to a central hub ICD. The proposal of ASCAP is that all these Asian countries should designate a hub ICD in their country, and there is a hub ICD to hub ICD link in different countries. For instance, Bangladesh was thinking of Ishurdi. Talks are still on. Ishurdi is not yet decided. In the meantime, a container train trial in Bangladesh has been done at a station called Bangbandhu West in April. First container train ran from India, Kolkata to Bangbandhu with 60 containers loaded, all 60 loaded. It was very well received. Only issue is that Bangbandhu does not have any handling arrangements today. You need to have a civil work and everything. Bangladesh government is doing something about it. There is a problem of funding. Those fundings are being arranged. Once that becomes successful, then 8 ICDs in Bangladesh can be linked to this particular point, and any traffic for India, Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, or even for Europe can move via this particular route. It is not surprising to include Europe also. You would be knowing last year's 1st January, trains ran from China to UK via entire rail route and going via Channel Tunnel to London. Now, those trains are commercially very, very successful trains. There are a lot of benefits because of which even that traffic can be targeted. But that traffic's viability has to be very, very important, and for that, we need to do something about the costs, which I'll be coming to later. Bhutan is another country which has no...
There are 4 panelists.
Oh, sorry.
If you could quickly go over it.
What I will do is, what I will just do is, I'll skip the country status, just informing that all countries now have ICDs, sufficient ICDs, which can be connected to a hub ICD for inter-country connection. Nepal, of course, has more than one. Nepal, Birganj and Biratnagar, 2 rail hubs are available today for Nepal. This is what I want to come to. This is a cost time analysis that I've done for different ICDs. ICD Dhaka to ICD Lahore via Colombo. If you move via shipping route, total cost today is $2264 US. This is including pre-carriage charge of 524 USD, ocean freight of 675, on carriage of 1065, 2264. Likely charges via land route from Dhaka to Lahore is 1371 US. This is on the basis of an analysis of actual costs which railways is using today. it is 1371. Transit advantage is 6 to 7 days vis-a-vis 17 to 22 days, 11 to 15 days. If you give a monetary value to this 15 days transit for around, say, cargo value of $45,000 per container, then it comes to almost 145 US dollar. And if you add 145 into this 900 US dollar difference, you have almost 1100 US dollar per container is the difference. ICD Delhi to ICD Dhaka cost 1846 up to Delhi, and for rail route it will be 1041. Transit saving of 14 to 17 days. Delhi to Tehran, 2181 is the today's cost. Land route charges are going to be higher because of the distance factor and because of the speed, because of the problem in over Pakistan, in some routes of Pakistan and Tehran. So costs are going to be little higher, but transit advantage of 11 days is there and upsets the cost disadvantage. It offsets the cost disadvantage. Effectively, this is the analysis, which is a user cost and time comparisons in a nutshell. Look at ICD Dhaka, ocean-based 2264 to 1371, transit 17 to 6, 1846 to 1041, ICD Delhi to Lahore 1842 to 375. These are the kind of potential savings, annual savings with one train daily with 80 TUs in one direction and 60 TUs in return direction, because there is going to be a traffic mismatch. Our Delhi Lahore, if you run one train every day, it is 51.46 million US dollar in a year. Delhi Dhaka 45.63 million US dollar, Delhi Tehran 1.07, Delhi Lahore 78.95. And carrying cost I've estimated to be 7.56 million US dollar for Delhi Dhaka. Morning, everybody was saying that perhaps there is a failure of advocacy also in making these operational. I think these are the kind of tools which can be shared with the politicians and bureaucrats, that this is what we are talking about. When we are talking about India-Pakistan trade moving by rail, this is what we are talking about. We are moving trains today also. India-Pakistan, there are 5 trains which go to Pakistan in a month from India. All of them go loaded, come back empty. From Pakistan, every day, 300 trucks come loaded, they go back empty. Who is gaining? 5% of this trade is going like that. Who is gaining? Both are losing. If you want to do trade, delimit it from politics, then this is a thing. What is required in addition to address the apprehensions? This is something I'll just rush through it. What is the way forward for improved connectivity? According to me, we need to operationalize TAR corridor wherever feasible. First step will be to revive Gul train. Gul train is that train from Istanbul to Islamabad, and extend them till Bangbandhu West in Dhaka, which is now technically linked. Decide the tariffs, let all railways decide the tariff, let all railways float this to the operators, container train operators, let them start the commercial runs. Let the third party come. It cannot be Indian Railway running a train to Bangladesh Railway and vice versa. It will never be successful. Both are railway administrations, both are built up for a different purpose. Let the market forces work. You decide the tariff. Let the market forces work. I have taken in my rating 4 analyses. Railway tariff, you have a container train operator, you have a shipping line operator, and you have a freight forwarder. It is the freight forwarder tariff on which I have done the comparisons. It is possible to do this, provided they get convinced that this is possible. Operationalize feeder links to all main TAR routes. Introduce bilateral trains to be used as relay trains for promoting sub-regional. It is not possible to plan a train from Dhaka to right away to Tehran. No. Let there be a train from Dhaka to Kolkata twice a week. let it take containers of India and other countries. In Kolkata, these containers should be kept and combined with the containers coming from India for Pakistan and Tehran. So these are the relay trains basically, which can actually move according to a time schedule. These trains should not stop at the borders. Now, that is where digital technology comes in use. You have today possibility of electronic sealing. In fact, it's been recently implemented on the second Biratganj route. Biratganj route was made operational only on this condition, that it will go with RFID seals. And Customs said, if you give me RFID seal and if you give me an evidence of seal being intact, and I know what was inside and what has come here inside, I will have no problem. Trains were not detained. They were detained only for 1 hour. But if you detain the train for 28 hours, 48 hours, then it is not going to be this thing. In fact, I would go a way forward and I would say that instead